I'm so excited to be here with all of you to talk about focus. Thank you to all those who are joining us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube. We appreciate you. We definitely see you. And if you weren't able to grab us live, no worries. We will have a recording for you. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. We can't be everywhere we want to be when we want to be there. And that's totally fine. Let's just jump right in, shall we? All right, y'all. I am going to share my screen with you. Is this the right thing? Okay, am I sharing something the right thing or am I sharing something embarrassing? Cool. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Avi Schondorf, and I am the host of the AVHD podcast, where we talk about us. We talk about ADHD. We talk about neurodivergency. It's a platform and a podcast that's designed to support fast thinking, deep feeling entrepreneurs, especially those who are neurodivergent. But if anything that I say applies to you, stick around, because you can learn from absolutely anything. You don't have to fit into the label or whatever it may be to jump on in. To my team, can somebody please go ahead and take over monitoring, admitting people into the call, please? Thank you so much. So we are here to talk about the FOCUS framework, and the FOCUS framework is how to filter out chaos using systems. Filter out chaos using systems. Get it? It's cute. And honestly, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but this is something that I genuinely struggle with every single day. And that's focus. Because first of all, what on earth does focus even mean? Like, we are told to focus from a very young age, but I don't know if it was different for you, but I don't think I was ever taught how to focus. Nobody ever sat me down and taught me what to do in order to get my brain to focus. They just told me to focus and expected me to know what that was. And even now, as adults, especially as entrepreneurs who are responsible for our own businesses and for generating our own income, we can get really stuck really easily. So the kind of focus that we're talking about today, first of all, what is it not? It is not the kind of focus that you have to force with like timers or by. It's the kind of focus that flows naturally. And this has really been the culmination of my journey this year. I'm going to share a little bit something personal with y'all. I joined several coaching programs over the past year, all designed to tackle a specific area of my business and myself as a leader and an entrepreneur where I felt like I was lacking. And in one of those groups, which is the Thriving Female Entrepreneur, Neurodivergent Entrepreneur Group, led by an incredible coach named Allison. And we're happy to link her and plug her. Allison Krug, sorry, Krug. I told her when I started that my goal was to move from inaction into action. Because as opposed to a lot of my counterparts who are constantly in go mode, I had spent the last 5 years figuring out how to really slow down, be intentional, stop doing a lot of things, kind of recenter and focus in myself. But that meant that I lost some of my capacity to like get shit done, right? Like I didn't practice that muscle enough and it got weak. So I needed help and I needed coaches and I needed support. And that's what I sought out. The focus help of my incredible team. So by the end of this webinar, the goals are that you should know how to essentially take the noise in your head, which neurodivergent or not, our heads are noisy. It's noisy up there. For you to be able, sorry, I interrupted myself in the middle of a sentence. By the end of this webinar, you should be able to take the noise that's in your head and organize it into a simple structure that that you can trust to get you started. So let's go and jump straight in to our biggest myth, which is that you are lazy. My friends, please drop me a little bit of love in the comments if anybody has ever told you in your life that you are lazy, or that you just need to get it together, or that you just do it, or any of that stuff. Y'all have heard any of that over the course of your lives, please drop me some love so that I know I'm not all alone. Excuse me. But struggling to focus does not mean that you're lazy. Struggling to focus means that you're struggling to focus, right? Because if your brain is moving very, very fast, then you struggle to sort through the amount of information that's happening in your brain, right? It doesn't mean that you're working too. It doesn't mean that sorry, y'all. Little noises distract me. I apologize for my ADHD. It doesn't mean that your brain is moving too slow. It doesn't mean that you're lazy, right? When you're struggling to get things done, or when you're struggling to focus. Hey, Shirtless Kai, what's up? You thought I wasn't going to call that out? That's crazy. You right now have like 1,000 ideas going on in your brain. You have like, I don't know, best case scenario, 10 browser tabs open. Just for this webinar alone, I closed all of my tabs so that I wouldn't have too many open, and I still have 10 tabs open, which is out of control crazy. You probably have minimally 3 unfinished projects, like just a bunch of things that you're bouncing between, like from idea to idea. So you bounce from task to task because nothing feels anchored, right? Like, why does it matter what I'm working on right now? If I'm working on so many things, I can just do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and kind of flow from one thing to the next. But that kind of flow without intention will lead you feeling lost and annoyed. And probably you end up beating yourself up for being lazy and not following through, and just not doing enough. So what we're told starting grade school, but I think always, is to just focus. But nobody tells us how to filter out what matters. How do I know what to focus on? How do I know when to focus on that? How do I know how to decide? How do I know how much to work and how much to rest? How do I make sure that I consistently show up? And on days when I don't feel like showing up, or on days when it feels difficult, how do I do it anyways? That's why we built the F.O.C.U.S framework. And again, focus is filtering out chaos using structure. Because if you're just sitting there white knuckling it through life and telling yourself that it's time to do something differently, right? But like without any actual path forward, then you're just setting yourself up for failure again. And you're not treating yourself with kindness, and you're not treating yourself with grace. So today we're going to learn how to do it so that you can show up more kindly for yourself and focus better. Ready? Let's go. So our first F, not only is focus filtering out chaos using structure, we also have broken it down into 5 essential steps for you, because 5 is an easy number. It's on one hand. You can follow 5 steps. You can do 5 things. So our first is filtering out noise. How do we stop chasing every single idea? Not every single idea deserves your attention. Not every idea is a good one. Some ideas are just like real big stinkers. But if you focused on those and you hyperfixated on them for the day, you can find yourself 12 hours later having wasted 12 hours pursuing an idea that's a stinker. And that's unfortunate. Clarity comes from sorting meticulously and with data and intention, again, the signal from the noise. what is distraction and what is actually moving me forward towards what I want. So how do we apply it? There's a bunch of different ways to do this. There's a lot of ways in which to filter out noise, because the noise comes from a lot of different directions. Let's talk first about where that noise even comes from. It can come from your own self. It can come from external voices, whether they're positive voices or negative voices. You know, some people are on our side, some people are haters. It happens. But even internally in yourself, not every idea deserves your attention, and not all noise is created equal. So we're going to learn about a couple different things. The 30-day rule is, I'm going to park this shit here for 30 days, and then I'm going to see what happens at the end of 30 days. When does this rule apply? I have an idea and it's a totally brilliant idea, but like I'm at capacity right now. I jot it down and then I review my ideas once a month from what we call our idea parking lot. It's just the place that you put all the stuff that could potentially be interesting at a certain point, but I'm going to place it somewhere because nothing is on fire. I mean, some things are on fire and like the world is on fire, but we're entrepreneurs. We're solving long-term solutions. We're not firefighters. We're not brain surgeons. We're not solving emergencies in the sense that it has to get done right this second. We're solving big problems in the sense that it has to get done properly at a reasonably quick pace, but not today or tomorrow. So you can write your idea down, park it for 30 days, and then see at the end of 30 days, sort through them and see which ideas are really sticky and which deserve your attention and what was just noise. The second thing to do, and this is for a higher frequency, is do a brain dump. And we're going to talk about specifically brain dumping a little bit later. We're going to do a little demo. But a brain dump is just sitting down. You set a 10-minute timer. It is only 10 minutes. And do this as often as you feel like you need to, but minimally once a week. You set a 10-minute timer and you just write all of the stuff that you need to do and all of the dependencies of the things you need to do, and you break it down into the small tasks, whatever comes up, even a bunch of different times from slightly different angles. It's okay. Don't censor yourself. Just sit for 10 minutes and write and see what comes out. This is not like free association writing. This is, I have shit in my brain that is a task or that is like relying on me, which means it's taking up my capacity and it's taking up my bandwidth. I need to put it down on paper. And then you sort your brain dump into, well, the most basic way of sorting it is now, later, not mine. And that works really well for ADHD brains. We have a more complex sorting methodology that we'll get to a little bit later, but that already right off the bat is a major help. Do I have to do this now? Can I do it later? Does this not belong to me? And one of the things that we really need to do here is remember that even among the important activities, even once you've sorted the signal from the noise, not all activities are created equal. They don't all have the same level of importance. So you need to know if this is something that's actually for right now, or like, I want to do this right now, but really it's going to pull me off track. We're not making decisions based on what we feel like doing, right? We don't have that luxury. We're adults with bills. We're making decisions based on the business strategy and what we need to be doing to keep ourselves on track. So that's step one, filtering noise. What is the noise and what is the signal? And then within the signal, what is actually the most important right now? What can be done later and what doesn't belong to me at all? And we're going to talk about not belonging to you at all a little bit more, but essentially y'all know how much I love delegating and talking about delegating, because if it's not for you, don't do it. You're wasting your time, and your time is precious. Okay. Our O in focus is for organizing inputs. Your brain is not a storage locker. It's not a place to like put old movies and like school photos and the name of your childhood best friend's dog and the phone number of the pizza guy from 20 years ago. If you're a neurodivergent person, you might have a lot of this stuff just floating around your brain, which is ridiculous. But also you're taking in a lot of information all the time and you're keeping it in there. We have a very difficult time deciding what we need to store and keep in our brain and what we don't. So what do we do? Well, what do you do when you run out of memory on your computer? This is the audience participation portion. You buy more memory. Yes, exactly. You go to the store and you buy more memory. So how do you buy more memory for a human brain? Well, stop treating yourself like you're a hard drive. That's step number one. And then when you're done treating yourself like a hard drive, you can realize that you can actually externalize the majority of these things. Structure outside of your head and outside of your brain frees up space. And structure can look like a number of different things. So how do we apply it? Well, you can map tasks on boards or notes. If you're a computer person, be a computer person. If you're a voice note person, be a voice note person. I'm surrounded by whiteboards and electronic boards and little bits of paper and all kinds of different writing implements. Just write it down, get it out, map your tasks outside of your head. Once it's out, once it's gone from your brain, my dog is drinking so loudly right now, it's out of control. It's so distracting. Your words and stuff, once it's outside of your brain and once you can see everything, okay, let's group our items so we can spot the priorities. I do this naturally already, even on my whiteboard. I don't know if y'all can see my whiteboard, but even on my whiteboard, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ideas on my whiteboard, and they're all kind of grouped together in writing areas. Sometimes color coded in different colors if they really have nothing to do with each other. Same tasks are kind of color coded the same, or something I want to group together in my mind is color coded the same. And then I also put them together in like close physical proximity. So that way you can spot the priorities. Okay, these are all of the things that I need to do for X project. Now let me look at the data and see what priority is going to jump out at me. Okay, and then digitize it, meaning like put it into a task system or whatever, only after it's visual. I know that that feels like double work, but I can't tell you it's not double work. It's worth it. It is a little bit double work, but it's super duper worth it. So the way that that works in our organization is I have an idea. I see what it's going to look like in my mind. I know how we're going to get from here to there. But in order for us to get from here to there, there's like 1,001 things that we need to do. And they all need to be broken down into its individual tasks. So what I do is when I have a very big picture idea, I take the big picture idea, I write who it's for, what like how long it's going to take us to do. I build the whole thing out from an ideation perspective. And then I hand it over to operations. And operations is going to take that and group the items to spot the priorities and plot them out into an actual path that can be accomplished and done. At that point, it gets digitized by the implementation team, who are the people who are actually going to be doing the particular tasks. So it gets digitized into each individual board, and we have an overall for the project, and then everyone knows what they need to be doing. That's all very well and good when you have a whole team like I just described. And it just makes it infinitely easier. And if you're not at the point yet where you can have a team, that's okay. The same system still applies to you. So you treat yourself, first of all, I'm treating myself like the CEO. I am the person who has the vision. That is my job right now. And that's the hat that I'm wearing. So when I'm talking about my vision, let me describe it from a vision perspective. This is the goal. This is the purpose. This is the why and the what, but not yet the how. Once we have the why and the what, then we can group everything into tasks or priorities or whatever it may be. And then put it down in the task manager, or keep the list or work off of the list. Even if you don't get to the point of digitizing it because you're just one person, just sitting down with yourself and going from planning stage, like vision stage, to planning stage to implementation stage is going to save you so much time and effort, because at any point you'll be able to ask for help and hand something off. Whereas if you don't have the vision and you don't have the plan, then somebody might come and offer to help you, and you won't be able to capitalize or take them up on their offer because you don't have the capacity to do that. They'll be like, how can I help? And you're like, well, today we're kind of doing, I'm not really sure, but we definitely need to get the website done, and we definitely need to do this. And nothing's ever going to get done that way. And you can continue insisting on working that way, but it's not going to work for you ultimately at the end of the day, beginning of the day, or middle of the day, in my humble opinion. So now that we have filtered out the noise and we've organized our shit, right? I filtered out the stuff I don't need. Now I'm left with the stuff I do need. I've organized it and I have decided on my priorities, and I am focused and I am ready, and let's go. But I'm talking to a group of people who struggle with focus, because if you didn't struggle with focus, you literally wouldn't be here. What do we do to get ourselves into focus mode? This is my variation of just do it. Because just do it, I mean, it sounds like stupid advice. And for the most part, it is stupid advice, because what we mean when we say just do it is like, I don't understand, what's the big deal? Suck it up, just start. And I want to propose the same advice, but like with a slightly different framing. Just start anywhere. You can start with something. And the way that we just start with something is a ritual. Rituals train your brain, as opposed to a routine where if you break the routine or you break the habit, that triggers shame. And y'all, if you like me struggle with habit formation, you understand the shame of not doing the thing. It is just the worst. But rituals train your brain in like, I was going to say a soft way, but it's not soft. It's just more useful. You put a cue in place that flips the switch into focus. So now we're not relying on importance. Okay. It's not like it's important, so I'm going to figure out how to do it. No, we're relying on, like conditioning, classical conditioning. We're bringing it back Pavlov style. And we're just both Pavlov and Pavlov's dog. You can cue your own self to do whatever you want to do. So how do we apply this in our own life? Just pick something. Pick literally anything that works for you. A scent. So before we started the webinar, I lit a candle. because it seemed like a good idea when I was preparing my notes. So I put a candle here, and then I put matches next to it. And then when I was sitting here thinking, okay, I'm ready to start, like, what do? I picked up the matches and I lit the candle. I don't know that I did that intentionally, but then the candle was lit, and now it's such a nice little cozy workspace. And I can hear, and I have my candle, and I have my coffee, and I have all my stuff, and it's all good. Before I started the webinar, I was freaking out a little bit. What did I do? You all know. What do you do when you're freaking out before a thing? And drop your pump up song for me, because I want to know what it is. Turn on some music. You turn on your pump up music. You know, pump up the jam. Get jiggy with it. It's like it completely turns your mind around. It gets your body in a different place. It puts your flow in a different place. Once you turn on the music, you're probably going to start moving your body a little bit. Once you're moving your body, you're in great shape. Okay? So what we do is we pick something that we like, a candle, a scent, a specific perfume that you put on, or a cologne that you put on when you're starting to work, a song that you turn on, a something that does what you want it to do for you. And then you pair a sensory cue with starting. Okay? So when I put on this perfume, when I light this candle, when I pour coffee in this mug, when I turn on this song, then I start whatever thing. There are no delays between the sensory cue and the starting. Okay? You got to do it right away. There is nothing in between one and the other. If the song starts playing, you stand up. If you lit the candle, you open your email. You have to pair the cue, the sensory cue, with beginning the activity. Otherwise, all you're teaching yourself is that the sensory cue is your cue to like delay something, which is probably a bad thing to teach your brain. And what do we mean by a sensory cue? We mean anything with the 5 senses. Sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. Right? Eyes, ears, mouth, nose, hands. Yeah. Anything like that applies. Just pick a thing. So like Kai's been doing a daily workout for the last 42 plus or minus 6 days. You turn on the music, you turn on the camera to do the workout, and then you start the workout without any delays. And then every time, if you don't feel like doing the actual workout, that's cool. You don't have to do the workout. All you have to do is turn on the song. Okay? And then protect the habit even when it doesn't stick. So sometimes it's not going to work. It's okay. It's fine. You're not going to be batting 100. It's okay. First of all, slipping does not mean failing forever. It means slipping today. So chill the fuck out. Secondly, it's a ritual. So you can just pick it back up. Even if it didn't stick, you can find another way. You can try another way. You can try the same way, but pick it back up and protect the habit, even if it's not 100% sticky all the time. Do not let the negativity bias rule your life, which says that we remember negative things more easily than we remember positive things. And we have trained ourselves to be like that. So if you don't want to be like that, don't be like that. Stop it. Protect the habit even when it doesn't stick. You can do this. And these rituals can be soft and lovely and wonderful for you and your life and your work style and your everything. Because, listen, whether you work for yourself or not, right? Even if you work a 9 to 5 or any other type of job, you're still your own boss. Okay? Because you're an autonomous human being. And I'm going off topic just a teeny little bit, but you're going to have to follow me because that's what you signed up for. You are your own boss in that you have full and autonomous control over your existence. The workspace is the structure. And sometimes we have more choices and sometimes we have fewer choices. Sometimes we have better choices. Sometimes we have worse choices. But we always have a choice as to how and where we're going to spend our time. So the workplace provides the structure and the framework that you have to exist in. We work 9 to 5 or 12 to 7 or 10 to 10 or whatever it may be. And you choose whether you want to put yourself into that or not. Again, some of us have more choices or less choices, but choices exist. Sometimes they're shitty, but they exist. You don't have control over any of that. What you do have control over is how you're going to show up in that space. So if you are working at a job that is making you completely and totally miserable, and you have no option to leave the place that is making you completely and totally miserable, then you have to leave the elements that are making you miserable. And that means creating things to put positivity into your own life where someone else is trying to put negativity in. Okay? Put a candle on your desk. You might not be able to light fires in your office, but have a fidget drawer if you need one. My fidget drawer is out of control. Put things in place for yourself to make your environment work better for you, even if and when the people around you are not making that same effort. Because I hate to be the reminder, but nobody cares about your feelings. And nobody gives a crap about your needs. I'm sorry to be the one to say that, because it's a little bit harsh, but it's also a lot true. The only person who cares about you is you. And that's important, not so that we feel alone and like no one gives a shit about us, but so that we can take full responsibility for everything that is happening to me. I don't like this. What can I do to make it better so I can like it more? And please don't misunderstand me to think that I am like picking at you for not having done this up until this point. This requires a massive mental switch of who is really in charge here. And by taking control of something as simple as a ritual, you are putting yourself back in charge. Okay, tangent over. Our you in focus is using visual systems, right? So we filtered out the noise, we organized the input, we created the ritual so that we can start, and now we need something so that we can stick to it. Because I've started, great, that's wonderful. And tomorrow I start, and the day after I start, and I start, and I start, and I start. But is anything even happening for us humans, and us neurodivergent humans for sure? Progress is only sticky when you can see it move. You have to visually see the thing moving. Use your eyes to help you. So what does that mean? Like, what does that mean at work? If you're working on a particular project and you're launching something from the ideation stage, which a lot of entrepreneurs are doing, then actually getting to a point where your business is viable in real life, it takes time. And there's many, many tasks that need to be accomplished and things that need to be done in a particular order or not in a particular order for the progress to happen. But if you're just checking things off of an endless to-do list, then you're only seeing what's left to do. You're not seeing what's been done. So again, progress is sticky when you can see it moving visually. Think of like fundraising campaigns where they have that thermometer or whatever, and and they fill it up and up and up and up. We can see visually how much we've done, and we can also see visually how much is left. It motivates you to fill in the gap because you're framing it from what we have, not from what we lack, if that makes sense. So how do we apply this? How do we apply visual systems, and what kind of visual systems can work for you in your life? Color coding. Love color coding. There's lots of ways to color code. You can color code by stage, by urgency, by project type, by idea type, by revenue quadrant. Color code. Sometimes, if you're feeling really crazy, you could double color code, like for stage and urgency, or even triple color code for stage, urgency, and project type. Or maybe you could color code and tag things. That's our second thing, tagging with clear statuses. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I freaking love visual systems. They make me so happy because then you can see all of your hard work in real life happening in front of your face, and it's moving, and it's so awesome. And if you're in my team and you have benefited from seeing your progress in real life, drop me a something, a yay or a happy or a heart or a something. Because we have shifted the way that we do things with our statuses and our internal document reporting to wins of the day, like stuff that we have gotten done, not what is missing, but what is done, so that we can always be tracking our progress and not our lack. Okay. Color coding, color coding, tagging, statuses, sticky notes. Keep your wins visible to build momentum, not for hubris and not to say that I'm done, but to say, okay, I have done a lot. We are moving. There is progress. This is working. Otherwise, you just get kind of like stuck in this pit of stuckness and despair. So we filtered out the noise and we organized our shit and we created a ritual and we are using a visual system so that we can actually see what's happening. And now we have to sustain our attention. Hello, hard part. Focus doesn't work good especially for people with any type of form of pervasive demand for autonomy, which I think is most people in the world because people want to be autonomous. Don't tell me what to do. You're telling me to focus. That's not freaking helpful. First of all, don't tell me what to do. Second of all, it's not helping. Third of all, I really, really push back and dislike when somebody tries to force me to do something that just doesn't feel right. As bratty and entitled as that sound, I don't freaking feel like it. So what do I do instead of forcing myself? I develop rhythms that renew, okay? It's not always going to work. It's not always going to be perfect. You're going to fall off, maybe even daily, and that's okay. Because there's things that we can do to get ourselves back on track, like micro awards. I used to put a little smiley face next to every correct answer when I was studying for the SATs. And after 50 smiley faces, I got a little treat. So I was doing something active and tactile to give myself a little reward. My assistant generated a schedule with me that when you check it off, like the face changes from sad to happy. That was great. My tasks were so happy. They're constantly needing to figure out new things for me to keep me on track. But if all of them work sometimes, then we're in pretty good shape. Body doubling with a partner is a fantastic way to sustain attention. Body doubling is literally just doing a thing with another person near you because they're not there to tell you what to do, but their existence, their presence keeps you accountable, especially if they're working on a similar task. And then dopamine stack with music or motion. I'm gonna do the boring thing with a fun song, or I'm going to do it standing, or I'm going to whatever. Give yourself a little bit of additional, like a dopamine sandwich on top of the dopamine hit of accomplishing the task, which tends to be very small for us ADHDers. Give yourself a little extra. You need a little extra help, and that's okay. When it falls, not if, when, it is okay. Just play the song again. Nothing like monumental has happened. We're fine. Okay? Okay. So let's go. If you registered for this webinar, then you have our brain dump. We're going to talk a little bit more about what brain dumping means. Okay? So there are 3 steps to the brain dump. Dump, sort, pick. That's it. And it sounds simple because it's not. The first step is like we spoke about before, dumping everything. So again, you set a 10-minute timer. We're going to try now for 1 minute. I'm watching my time. You're going to take a minute and write down everything that is at the top of your mind right now. If you're still, you should be picking up a pencil or a pen or your phone and writing down the things that are top of mind. It's all right. You only got 30 more seconds. Write down everything that's top of mind. Should be coming fast because your brain is very full. Okay. If you actually took that minute to write some things down, you probably have between 2 and 5 things on your list. If your brain was very full and you write really fast, you probably have like 10 things. If you took the 10 minutes, you'll see that there's a lot of stuff that comes out at the beginning. Maybe there's a little dip in the middle and it picks back up at the end. It's fine. 10 minutes is not a long time. You can do 10 minutes. Okay? The second step is to sort it. And the way that you sort it is a little bit different for everyone. But our general categories are, is this work or home? And then, is it now or not now? Is it high priority or low priority? And like, who is it for, if it's for someone in your family or in your company? And who's responsible? Okay, so there's 5 things. You have the what the thing is. So now we need to know, is this for home or work or for something else? Who is it for? Who is responsible for it? When does it need to happen, now or not now? And how urgent is it? High priority, low priority. Okay. And now you have all the information you need to be able to just pick one. Just freaking pick a thing and start and go. And the rest of the things, you can see clearly what needs to be delegated and what doesn't need to be delegated. So if you don't have our brain dump tool, we'll send it to you or ask us for it or whatever. We want you to have it because it is actually so critical. I will also tell you that it is literally the first thing that you're going to stop doing. Okay? And that's annoying because it is the most beneficial thing for you. So when you find yourself not brain dumping, I want you to assume that it's because you're a scaredy cat. Okay? If I'm not brain dumping, it's because I'm scared of something. And the next thing that I want you to tell yourself is, I'm an adult now. There's nothing on this list that's going to come up that I can't take care of. Not a damn thing. And even if you choose to ignore every single item on your list, just having that list and taking the time to brain dump and put it out of your head is going to improve your brain function. You'll have something to refer to if you need to. It's so beneficial. And there is absolutely no pressure involved in creating your own brain dump. No one has to see it. You don't have to tell anybody. There can be stuff on there that never ends up happening. There's no one here to hold you accountable for any of that shit except for yourself. And if you want to do the things that you say that you want to do, it requires effort. So why not start with the smallest bit of effort? Just 10 minutes dedicated to yourself. Once a week. Try it. I dare you. See what happens. Prove me wrong. I love being proved wrong. It's very rare. Okay, guys, I want you to meet Jordan. Jordan is a fake human who is our example person. But I'm going to talk to you guys about Jordan a little bit. Because Jordan is a super high functioning CEO. He hasn't been working in a traditional 9-to-5 in at least 10 or 15 years. His business is on paper quite successful, and he is making the amount of money that he needs to be making. But Jordan doesn't feel good. And Jordan knows that if, as successful as his business is right now, it's not actually guaranteed to be successful, sustainable, or scalable long term. Because he doesn't really know what his business is solving all the time. And he doesn't really know what he's supposed to be doing. He knows that he's busy. He's just not really sure what that means for him. And on the outside, externally, Jordan is the picture of competence. The wheels are moving, things are turning, they're happening the way they need to, the money is coming in, but Jordan is tired. And Jordan needs help sometimes. And Jordan can't ask for the help that he needs because when he asks for help, he gets painted as weak. And he gets painted as less than. And his colleagues make fun of him, even if it's in a joking way, like there's still some truth to it. And maybe he'll be passed over for an opportunity or for something because he asked for help. And so he's spinning in circles by himself inside his own mind without any leeway or ability or capacity or venue in which to ask for help. So now Jordan has to rely on himself yet again. But he didn't know any of this stuff, this focus stuff about filtering out the noise and organizing your inputs and creating rituals and using visual systems and sticking to and sustaining your attention. Sometimes all it takes is for somebody to hold your hand. I'm genuinely getting a little emotional. Excuse me. Sometimes all it takes is for somebody to hold your hand and build something with you. I want to do this. I want the focus. I want to be better. I want to get what I want to get. I just don't know how. And I need a little bit of help. So if you're Jordan, and I mean, I'm Jordan, everyone I know is Jordan. Everybody's Jordan in 2025. If you're Jordan and you just need a little bit of freaking help, and you're ready to clear some of the chaos, we have some tools for you for free, of course. Please grab them, scan the QR code. We have our F.O.C.U.S kit from Alisto, which is focusing more on the implementation piece and actually moving forward. We have the Unclutter Your Mind Brain Dump tool, which is about just clearing the space, like we've spoken about, clearing the space to be able to filter through. And then we have the visual workflow kit from our sister company, F.O.C.U.S, which will help you really put the plan into action, right? We talked about treating yourself as the CEO, the visionary, and then the operations, and then the implementation. So for our CEOs, that's unclutter your mind. For our operations, when you need to put on your operations hat, that's when you move over to F.O.C.U.S. And when you need to put on your implementation hat, that's what the visual workflow kit is for. Questions, y'all. What do we got? Let me know. You can drop questions in the comments anywhere. If you're on Google Meet with us, you can pop on or raise your hand, and I'm happy to answer anything. Okay, so we have a question here. When you look at your current workload, which category do most tasks fall into? Do they fall into now, later, or not mine? Okay, that's really, really interesting. I would say kind of at the beginning of your business, at the beginning of the journey, there's not a lot of not mine, right? Because a lot of the stuff is just yours. It's just you and yourself. So really what we're talking about is now, later, or not at all. And I would say that the majority of your tasks are actually later tasks, because there's tasks that need to be done right now, but also right now is such a small little bit of time. Like right now is only like right now, I only have one right now. I have lots of laters. So I need to actually pick like the top, highest, most impactful thing that needs to happen right now. And when you think about it that way, it makes it easy to select what you're going to be doing. And then you can just go back to your list and choose something else. Thank you so much for that question. Anything else? I have a question here on Google Meet. When your brain is racing with ideas, what's the hardest part for you? Getting started, staying focused, or actually finishing? Is all of the above an option? I think, which is the hardest? Everything is the hardest. I think a better answer is kind of, it depends on the day. Because getting started has its challenges, staying focused has its challenges, and actually finishing has its challenges. But if you can reframe it and understand where the challenge is coming from each of those things, then you can tackle the problem as it comes up, right? Because otherwise, you have two options, basically. You can be sitting here saying, oh my God, I'm never getting started. I never finish anything and blah, blah, blah. And then you get stuck in this shame spiral and it's just, totally freaking useless. Or you can understand what is happening and attempt to solve for it. So if today I'm struggling with getting started, maybe I have the time to figure out why I'm struggling with getting started, and maybe I don't have the time, right? So we just solve for struggling to get started. What that looks like is, I am struggling to get started right now. Okay. That's a bummer that you're struggling to get started. That's okay. We can help. What's the thing that we do when what do you need to start on? What do we do when we need to get started on that thing? You're talking yourself through this in your mind, but out loud is even better. All right. Let's go. Get started. And then you start your ritual and you start. And if it doesn't work and you need to repeat it to yourself a few times, so you needed to repeat it to yourself a few times, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. If staying focused is your challenge, then when you notice yourself getting off track, instead of saying you are off track, just put yourself back on track. Okay? Your brain is a big toddler. Treat your brain like a child. So if your child is having trouble getting started with something, you help them and you take their hand and you walk with them. If they're having trouble staying focused, then you gently redirect them back on track. Maybe there's a reason they can't stay focused. Maybe you're hungry. Or maybe you're being a big baby. So let's just gently redirect you back to what you're supposed to be doing. And if actually finishing is your problem, well then, okay, cool. Gently redirect yourself into actually finishing. Employ external accountability so you can actually finish. All of these steps are the exact same thing that require me to say something is stuck. What is stuck? Where is it stuck? Hey, it's stuck. Let's decide to be unstuck. Okay, we're unstuck now. And you might have to do that a lot of times. Maybe at the beginning, maybe in the middle, maybe at the end, maybe all three. It just is what it is. But don't give up on yourself. Because your idea is worth sticking with. And if your brain is racing too loudly, maybe not now is not task time. Maybe now is brain dump time. Maybe I didn't even give myself the right option. Because what's the first step when my brain is racing with ideas? Stop, pause, filter out the noise. Guys, I have loved being with you here today. This has been so fun. If you're catching us on the replay, love it. Hey, what's up? Let me know what your best takeaway was, what you can use help with in your everyday life or in your work life. I'm happy to build more tools and more things for y'all and what you need. And until next time, squirrels, take care.